Alrighty, let me get this out the way. I'm going to try and make this another shorty video here. There we go, and there we go. All right, let's go ahead and do this right quick. So, 100 companies are responsible for 71% of global emissions of CO2. Okay, so let's take a look at this list from The Guardian. This is 2 years ago. Just a moment. Okay. Now, let's take a look here. Blah, blah, blah. Let's look at the actual list. 1988 to 2015. Excuse me. China coal. They're just going to call the whole thing. Yeah, China coal. So, China coal, this smells like yellow peril a bit to me when you just say, oh, well, China coal. They don't want to actually tell you any specific names of companies, like, say, let's see here. They don't want to talk about, coal miner Shenhua Group. They don't want to talk about China Coal Energy Group and Datong Coal Mine Group. They don't want to be specific and name those. Yeah, the NDRC's acquisition, China Guodian Group Core by Shenhua to create the world's largest utility. But they don't use those names, do they? That's interesting to me. And it shows a bit of racism. Dare I sound like a hypocrite when I say it, but it does smell like racism here. This is Whitey trying to, produce my yellow peril some more. If you want to be honest, go ahead and include and call it, Shenhua Mining Corporation, or call it this and that, but you're just going to whitewash things, and you're just going to say China coal. But I mean, I've gone on and on about that, but let's see who else. Okay, so Saudi Arabia, Aramco. Nobody's going to do anything about Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry, Gazprom, that's Russia. Iran, especially no one's going to do anything about that. ExxonMobil, they're an international company. Same thing with Chevron. Oh, here we go. China National Petroleum Corporation, CNPC, as we talked about, I think, no, that's NDRC, sorry. But we have all these different, the Royal Dutch, Russia coal. To me, this is already misleading. 100 companies, and then you're just going to call it China coal, Russia coal, Poland coal, and you don't want to specify the companies, which just doesn't smell right. BP, British Petroleum, I imagine, Kuwait, ConocoPhillips. ConocoPhillips wasn't even in the top 10. That's not to me to defend it. I'm just saying, Iraq National Oil Company, which is pretty much just American owned as far as I know. Anglo-American, Qatar, Kazakhstan. Oh yeah, people are going to worry about Kazakhstan. National Oil Corporation of Libya. That's going to probably be swallowed up by Turkey if they get their way. Consol Energy Incorporated, Ukraine Coal, Glencore PLC, Turkmen Gaz, I'm guessing that's Turkmenistan, Czech Republic Coal, China Petrochemical Corporation, China. Wow, look at this. I mean, we mentioned like China 3 or 4 times. I mean, it's just like very, very cringe. Yeah, Occidental Petroleum Corporation, North Korea Coal, nothing's going to change that. Marathon Oil Corporation. Once again, that's an, as far as I know, it's always interesting to me. This whole idea, once again, I'm not denying climate change, but it's about who they put blame on. They'll say, well, we have to blame America. It's America's fault. They produce all this. And then when it comes down to the companies, other than something like ExxonMobil, and I'm, maybe this is a bit of my Americentrism showing, but actually it is. I know it's Americentrism. I'll just say it simple as, but it's like This is very biased, isn't it? We can see the bias in this list. Let's see here. Apache Corporation, Murray Coal. We're taking a look at the list here. We're just hitting some highlights. Bahrain, Petroleum Corporation, Westmoreland Coal Company, Drummond Company, Tech Resources Limited, Indica Energy, Southwestern Energy. So this list is very deceiving, to say the least, at least in my opinion. This is a very deceiving list, to say the least. So when people use it, it's very biased, I think. And yeah, you could say, oh, blame China this, and of course, it depends if you talk to the China boos or the Sina boos. They'll be like, well, China is one of the leading countries of using renewable energy and producing electric vehicles, this and that. So there's a little bit of propaganda in here, and you have to kind of be wary of that. So when they say 100 companies produce 71% of the emissions, okay, but there is about 5 of those companies that were Chinese, or they had China in the name. You also had Russia, Iran. In other words, you're not going to change any of that type of thing. Where it's like, ExxonMobil. The interesting thing is I don't see, and maybe I didn't see it on here, but it speaks volumes because I didn't see. Well, let me make sure because it would be very hypocritical to say the least. I'm going to look through here. No Halliburton. I'm curious about that. I'm curious as hell about that because, of course, first time I heard about Halliburton was, of course, what's his name who shot the guy in the face from G.W. Bush's presidency. But I can't. Let me make sure here. BHP. Let me make sure. What's Halliburton? Is there another name? Yeah, Halliburton. I didn't see Halliburton on here. I mean, I kind of looked at this halfway, but I didn't see. Yeah, let me see. Kazakhstan Coal, Anglo-American. I'm looking just at the first letter. Hess Corporation, Xaro, Husky. I don't see it. So it's fascinating to me once again. This seems like a very biased list, and it doesn't seem very thorough. At least that's my view of it. It seems like a very unbiased list to say. I mean, a very biased list. Sorry, let me say unbiased. Very biased list, to say the least. And it's more of, let's shit on China some more. And it's like, look, I'm not the biggest fan of China, but the thing is that it depends on what sort of world that you live in or what your ideology is. But in general, China is going to be a big player. And so with the United States falling further and further behind in the world, and Joe Biden is not going to save that. There's going to be no future president who's going to do that, whether it's future president AOC or whatever the case may be. They aren't going to change anything, So, I mean, I find this fascinating as hell, if I'm being honest. It shows how biased this list is, that you hear mention of it, and then when you actually look at it, you're like, what the hell is this? You see what I'm saying? Anyway, I went on far too long. I should have cut it off a little bit sooner. So you know what, folks? I hope y'all enjoyed that. So when you see this 100 companies thing, you have to actually read these things and get it out, and actually get a better idea of it. So anyways, folks, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Y'all have a good rest of the day. Excuse me. a little more a little more lively than I was a couple of days ago. Anyway, see you later. Goodbye.